Yep. What's good, everybody? It's NASA, bringing you a modern warfare, bringing you a Medal of Honor Warfighter. Little heads up, little impressions, first thoughts, what I think about the game, feelings on it, kind of deal. I don't really want to do a full review because although I've played quite a bit of time, I've maybe put in close to 10 hours already. That's not enough time to play a game. The same way with a campaign. If you're reviewing a campaign, you pretty much have to beat the campaign before you do your review. I don't think 10 hours is beating campaign. You know, I think you got to put in a lot of hours into a game before you really even get the feel of it. Like League of Legends, for example, I've played over 1,000 games in that game, and I still don't have it down yet. You know, down pat yet. So some games need more time than others, and although this is a generic, or not, I don't mean to say generic. Although this is a first-person shooter, and most of you guys have been there, done that already, it's not really so much like the typical first-person shooter. So the first thing you'll notice in this game, as soon as you play online, is the recoil. Unlike other games, when you're shooting in this game, there is recoil. A lot of circular recoil, up and down recoil. So you can't just hold the trigger down and then get pissed off when a guy doesn't die. And also it burns your ammo. So you might hold the trigger down, shoot a guy, only have 10 bullets left for the next guy, and unless your aim is on point, you're not going to kill him. So I think that's a really good thing. It teaches you to be patient with your shots, to aim better, and not just run around thinking you're just going to hold the trigger down and you know, do a street sweeper and clean the whole block up by just shooting off the hip or just holding the trigger down, you know? So that's the one thing, or the first thing you need to know about this game. There is recoil. Second big thing you'll notice as far as shooting goes and aiming goes is the shooting off the hip. When you're shooting off the hip, there's a lot of bullet spread. I mean, a lot of bullet spread. So there will be those encounters where you're 2 feet in front of each other firing off the hip, and either nobody dies or it takes a while for one of you guys to die. And that can cause frustrating moments where you're like, wow, I was right in front of this guy. How did I miss him? But that's because there is a lot of recoil off the hip. Probably more than natural, because I'm sure if 2 guys, even if you give them fake health, you know, because in real life, probably 1 bullet you're dead. But so you want to, you know, upgrade that to maybe 3 to 4 bullets, video game terms. Even if in real life that close to each other, I'm sure you'll hit them at least with 4 bullets off the hip. I don't think it's that much spread from that close, but that's something they could tweak. Although I don't think they will, because I don't think they want to encourage people to run around the map, shooting off the hip, shooting everybody off the hip. Which I like that, because even though I use SMGs and I do tend to off the hip a lot, I do actually aim down the sight a lot more. And I get that 2-piece on the campers, but I do tend to aim down the sight more than I shoot off the hip. I was watching a video from Old Bean himself. He's a really good Medal of Honor player. He's really good in this game. He transitioned really good. He has a high score per minute, so that means he's playing the objective. He's scoring points, getting kills. But one thing he said was he aims down the sight because he wants to feel in control. So when you don't kill a guy, you can always fall back and say, like, you know, that's straight on me. You know, I missed him. I aimed at him. I missed him. When shooting off the hip, you kind of just have to rely on, man, I hope the bullet spread, you know, is tight enough where I do kill these guys and I get another 2-piece. You know, so that's kind of why I like to aim down the sight too. And also right here, this was one of those moments where I was like, what? But when I looked over the video during editing now, I realized I kind of slowed it down. I was shooting off to the left of that guy. At first my aim was on him and the gun kicked over, so I missed him. So that wasn't like hit detection problems or anything. That was my aim kicked off and I didn't hold the, you know, I didn't hold the aim down the sight on him. And another thing, now past the aiming stuff, which is the most important in the shooter, to me the shooting mechanics are fine. As you unlock, you know, play more, you unlock different attachments for your weapon. So you can customize if you want it for close range, long range, if you want silence, unsilenced. The color of your gun, like this one, I like this camo. It's nice green and orange and everything, but you could customize your weapon pretty much to cater to your playstyle. So I like silencers, of course. I like SMGs. I like close quarters, and I like whatchamacallit? Silencers, close. Oh, and I like iron sights. That's one big thing. I always use iron sights on SMGs because from close range, you really don't need a sight. You know, the enemies are so close. You know, you don't really need a red dot. I mean, your gun is fine, looking right down the sights. You know. So this is how I made my weapon. I made it silenced. I put all the attachments for close quarters. I put a silencer on it. I put the iron sights on it, and I'm really liking it. Then also you can press V, or I'm on. This is all for PC. This review. You can press V to change your rate of fire, single shot, 3-shot. I don't know if some guns might have burst. I'm not sure, but I've only really used the SMG so far. But you can't change your rate of fire, so there's those mid to long range. It's definitely better to go into single fire to get somebody. So that's all the shooting stuff goes. Now, and weapons and stuff. Now also is the classes. There's 6 classes in this game. The only one I've used extensively is the Spec Ops class. The second one I've used somewhat was the Demolitions class. But basically every class has an ability where you press C to see that signal scan, where you can see through the map. It's pretty much like the visor from Blacklight Retribution. And right there, what I did, I dropped a smoke screen. What a smoke screen does, it prevents the team from using that scan that I just used. You can't scan through smoke, so you won't be able to like see. Like, that's a good way of blocking their vision of you completely. And here we go again, spawning your teammate, get another 2-piece. But that's a real good way if people are camping to throw a smoke screen on them, and they won't have any vision, or you'll have vision, they won't have vision. Now I don't know if you can see through the smoke screen. Now that I think about it, but either way, taking away their vision is better than taking away your vision, because you know where they're at already. They don't know where you're coming from. So that's what the smoke screen does. This is the radar jammer. That just screws up the radar for them around you. You know, like any other radar jammer does in any other game. But seeing through the walls, I really like that ability, because it basically leads me when I spawn. It tells me where to go, where the action's at. And it only lasts for about a second. Has a pretty long cooldown. It's not cheesy by any means. Because first off, when you use it, it makes a huge. It sounds like Sam Fisher's right next to you. Whenever somebody uses it around you, you hear it real loud, the little pew, and there's no way you can't hear it. So once you hear that, you know somebody's around you. So if they're not in front of you, they're behind you, or if they're not next to you, they're inside a building next to you. So it's a dead giveaway when somebody's around when you use it. So it's not overpowered. The Demolitions class has basically like a Juggernaut suit that you can activate whenever you want. But once it gets destroyed, it's gone. So, but that's really good for like pushing objectives. If you spawn camp, throwing the Juggernaut suit, or pick the Demolitions class. One more thing is the grenades. I love the grenades in this game. They remind me of COD 4 grenades. They're really strong. They do the job, get people out of camping, and I end the game with another 2-piece. But I like the game a lot, man. It's a real fun game. You guys should try it out. All right, peace. I'm out.